Good morning, students. This is a class for BA Part 2 English Literature students. This will be lecture 3rd on Christabel, a poem by S.T. Coleridge. I am Dr. Anil Dadich. We have already done 2 sections of this poem, and now we begin where we left yesterday. We were here, O weary lady Geraldine, I pray you, drink this cordial wine. It is a wine of virtuous powers. My mother made it of wild flowers. Christabel becomes a good host. She sees the tiredness of Geraldine and addresses her, O weary lady. Weary means tired, one who is exhausted. O weary lady Geraldine, I pray you, I request you, drink this wine, which is very cordial, which is of good virtues. It is a wine of virtuous powers. It's a wonderful drink and it has wonderful powers. And she also tells her that this is made of wild flowers, which was made actually long ago by her mother. And now Geraldine asks a question. And will your mother pity me, who am a maiden most forlorn? Geraldine asks Christabel that will your mother have pity on me? She will be kind enough, generous enough to me. I am a lady who is most forlorn. Forlorn means lonely. I am a lady who is very lonely. Christabel answers to this. Christabel answered, woe is me. Woe is me is an expression for I am sorry. I am sorry she died the hour that I was born. My mother died when I was born, on the very moment I was born. I have heard the grey haired friar tell. Friar is actually a clergyman, church ka padri. She says, I have heard the grey haired friar tell. Grey haired means old. The friar, the monk, or the clergyman who has grown old now, he has said this story, how on her deathbed, he is talking about the mother, how on her deathbed she did say, the mother said, when she was dying, these were her last words, or you can say the last wish, that she should hear the castle bell strike 12 upon my wedding day, that she will definitely come on the wedding day of Christabel. That is to say, she in a way blessed Christabel that she will be married one day and she will visit that day to the castle in the night. Oh mother dear, she remembers her mother. Christabel remembers her mother, that thou wert here. Alas, you were here. You see, when we call our guardian angels or our departed dear ones, they definitely come. Generally, it is said. So, here in these words, Christabel genuinely remembers her mother. Oh, thou wert here. Kash ki tum yahan hoti maa. I would, said Geraldine, shiver. और ऐसी इस विश पे जेरल्डाइन के मुंह से भी निकल जाता है. शी ऑल्सो हैपन्स टू से आई वुड मीन्स आई विश शिवर. आई विश शिवर ऑल्सो हियर. मैं भी चाहती हूँ कि वो यहाँ होती. अब दिस इज़ इनएडवर्टेंट, अनजाने में हुआ है, और दिस इज़ intentional on part of Geraldine, we do not know, but she expresses the wish that the mother should be here. But soon, with an altered voice, suddenly she changes her voice. Altered voice means just now she was cordial, she was polite enough in her voice, and now she changes her voice and she says, but soon with altered voice she said, क्या कहती है? Off, wandering mother, peak and pine. Off. It appears as if she sees the ghost of Christabel's mother, of wandering mother. Wandering मतलब भटकती हुई, mother, spirit of Christabel's mother. Of wandering mother means go away, mother. Peak and pine means become weak. I have power to bid you flee. I have the power to order you run away from here, fly away from here. Why? Because this is the time supposed to be for in favor of Geraldine, who is an evil spirit. We can say for a time being. Alas, now, as we have already discussed, Coleridge believed in willing suspension of disbelief. So once again, he does not make it very clear whether the ghost was seen or not, whether it was only a mental aberration of Geraldine. Alas, what ails poor Geraldine? What troubles? Ails means troubles. What troubles poor Geraldine? Why stares she with unsettled eye? Her eyes become unsettled. She is looking here and there in a fast movement. She stares in this way. Can she the bodiless dead spy? Can she see the dead spirits? Bodiless dead means the spirit or the ghost. The poet leaves only a question, an example of romantic suggestiveness once again. It is left to the reader or the audience. The poet does not answer the question. And why? With hollow voice, she cries. With a hollow voice, Geraldine cries, "Off, woman, off!" Perhaps she is addressing to the ghost of Christabel's mother. This hour is mine. This particular time belongs to me. I am supposed to be more powerful by nature, though you, her guardian spirit, be. Although thou means you, are her guardian spirit. Of woman, of, it is given to me. Then Christabel knelt by the lady's side. Knelt means she came down on her legs by the side of the lady, Geraldine, and raised to heaven her eyes so blue. Just see, Coleridge does not appreciate or does not give a direct description of the beauty of his characters. He gives you an idea that Christabel had blue eyes. She was so beautiful, and she raised her blue eyes towards heaven. Heaven means towards the sky. Up. She started looking up. Alas, she said, this ghastly ride, dear lady, it had wildered you. She thinks that her state of mind has wildered. It has become wild. It has become uncontrolled. Perhaps she has become sick because of the ride. 3 दिन जो लगातार वो राइड करती रही उन एबडक्टर्स के साथ, उसके कारण परहैप्स दिस इज़ द कंडीशन. द लेडी वाइप्ड हर मोइस्ट कोल्ड ब्रो. अब देखिए, ठंडी रात है, उसके बावजूद देर इज़ मोइस्ट ऑन द फॉरहेड ऑफ जेरल्डाइन. उसके माथे पे पसीना है. तो व्हाट कैन बी द रीजन? शी वाइप दैट मोइस्ट, द पर्सपिरेशन ऑन कोल्ड ब्रो. ब्रो इज़ एक्चुअली फॉरहेड, माथा. वहाँ से वो पहुँचती है. एंड फेंटली मतलब in a very dull voice, in a very tired voice, she says, it is over now. So we are given the message that the guardian angel has departed from there. We are also communicated that the guardian angel was helpless. She could not do anything because this particular moment or this particular hour is given to Geraldine, the other spirit. And will your mother pity me? Okay. Again the wildflower wine she drank. She drank the wildflower wine. Her fair, large eyes began to glitter bright. Her eyes started to glitter brightly. Means once again she became firm, strong, and from the floor whereon she sank, where she has fallen, the lofty lady stood upright. She stood upright, and the word lofty, lofty means high. Here the word is symbolically used. It has double meaning. There is pun used in this word. Lofty means high also, and lofty means here द विनर. अब ऊंची हो गई है, इसका मतलब क्या है, मदर से जीत गई है. तो सिम्बॉलिकली द पोएट हिंट्स दैट नाउ द लेडी इज लॉफ्टी मीन्स शी इज हायर. शी स्टूड अपराइट. शी वॉज मोस्ट ब्यूटिफुल टू सी, like a lady of a far country, as if she belonged to a very far country, and a foreigner who was most beautiful to see. And thus the lofty lady spake. Geraldine speaks in this manner: all they who live in the upper sky do love you, holy Christabel. She also says that Christabel is holy, she is pious, she is sacred, pavitra hai wo Christabel. And all who live in the upper sky, that is to say the angels, they love you and you love them. Why do they love? Because you also love them, and for their sake, because of them, and for the good which me befell, or because befell means happened or occurred, because the good that has occurred to me, even I, Geraldine, in my degree will try. मैं भी ये कोशिश करूँगी. Geraldine says, I will also try, fair maiden, good lady, to requite you well. I will also help you. I will try to requite you. Requite means repay. मैं भी अपनी क्षमता से कुछ देने की कोशिश करूँगी. Well, but now unrobe yourself, undress yourself, मतलब change your clothes now, because they are going to sleep. For I must pray before yet in bed I lie. It is generally a routine of the people that means before I lie in bed, बिस्तर में जाने से पहले I must pray. Quoth Christabel, so let it be, ऐसा ही हो. Quoth means said. Christabel said that let us do it, and as the lady bade means ordered, she did, मतलब she undressed. Her gentle limbs did she undress, and lay down in her loveliness. We are hinted that she lied down without with shedding her dress, but through her brain of weal and woe, so many thoughts moved to and fro. Although she was in her bed, but still through her brain, in her mind, of weal and woe, welfare and sorrow. There were thoughts of welfare and sorrow in her mind. So many thoughts moved to and fro. She was actually thinking about her betrothed knight, the knight to whom she was engaged. She had seen the bad dream, that vain it were her lids to close. It was useless to close her eyelids. It means she was not able to sleep. She was unsleepy. So halfway from the bed she rose. She got up in her bed only, and on her elbow did recline. Recline means rest. On her elbow she rested to look at the Lady Geraldine, to see what this other Lady Geraldine was doing. Beneath the lamp, the lady bowed. What was the lady doing? She bowed beneath the lamp and slowly rolled her eyes around. You can see this is a supernatural kind of prayer she is making, rolling her eyes round and round, then drawing in her breath aloud. She drew breath aloud, जोर से सांस खींचा, like one that shuddered. And ऐसे लगा जैसे कंपकपी उठी हो. ऐसे she unbound the cincture from beneath her breast, and she also undressed herself beneath her breast. Her silken robe, the silken dress, the inner vest, dropped to her feet. She dropped down her garments, and full in view, behold, now Her body was absolutely undressed and she was there. You can behold. Behold means see. She was full in view. See her bosom now and half her side. The poet particularly suggests to focus. The poet makes the readers or the audience to focus on her bosom, on her breast, and half side of it, a sight to dream of, not to tell. This is such a sight that you can only see in dreams. You cannot describe it. It is so horrible, something so horrible. And this is the beauty of the poem, that the poet does not give you the hideous or the terrible description of what was visible on the bosom of the lady. It is left all on the imagination of the readers. But just he gives you a hint that it was terrible to see. Oh, shield her, shield sweet Christabel. It was so horrible that the poet makes a request. A prayer comes on his lips to shield. Shield means to protect sweet Christabel. Yet Geraldine neither speaks nor stirs. Geraldine did not speak anything. She did not move. Stir means move. Ah, what a stricken look was hers. It was a very stricken look, means it was absolutely terrible to see her, and she was in a very bad shape. Deep from within, she seems halfway to lift some weight. It appeared as if she was lifting some weight. She was heavy. कहीं ना कहीं बहुत कष्ट में वो थी. With sick essay. Essay means effort. It was a very deep sense of sickness which she carried. बहुत गहरा कहीं घाव है जिसको वो कैरी कर रही है. एंड आइज द मेड, और वो देखती है किसकी तरफ? टुवार्ड्स क्रिस्टाबल. एंड सीक्स डिले. एंड seeks delay means continuously she matches the eye with her. Eye contact is delayed. Then suddenly, बहुत देर तक आंखों में देखते हैं एक दूसरे की ट्रॉमा, एक दूसरे की ट्रबल, वो झांकने की कोशिश करते हैं. एंड देन सडनली, एज वन डिफाइड, जैसे किसी ने किसी को चैलेंज किया हो, ऐसे कलेक्ट्स हर सेल्फ इन स्कोर्न एंड प्राइड. सी गैदर्स हर सेल्फ इन स्कोर्न and in pride, lay down by maiden's side, and she slept by the side of Christabel, and in her arms the maid she took, and she embraced the lady, that is to say Christabel. She embraced Christabel. Ah, well a day. Well a day is actually an expression for prayers. May things become good. सब अच्छा हो, ऐसा एक एक्सप्रेशन. ओ वेल ए डे. एंड विद लो वॉइस, बहुत ही धीमी आवाज़ में, एंड डोलफुल लुक, इन ए वेरी पेनफुल लुक, दीज वर्ड्स डिड से. धीमे लेकिन डोलफुल मीन्स चैलेंजिंग एंड पेनफुल दोनों एक साथ. तो इस तरह की लुक्स के साथ सी सेड दीज वर्ड्स. क्या कहा उसने? लेट अस सी. इन द टच ऑफ दिस bosom, when I touch your bosom with my bosom, there worketh a spell. There works a spell. Spell means jadoo, miracle. It will be a miracle which is Lord of thy utterance, Christabel, and that will become Lord. Lord means master of your utterance. Utterance means speech. अब जो कुछ तुम बोलोगी वो मेरे कहने से होगा. Which is Lord of thy utterance, Christabel. Thou knowest tonight, आज रात तुम जानती हो, and will know tomorrow, you will know this tomorrow also. क्या जानोगी तुम? You will remember this. क्या? This mark of my shame, जो कुछ तुमने मेरे सीने पे देखा है. We do not know what horrible thing is there in her bosom. This mark of my shame, this seal of my sorrow. This is the seal. ये मुहर मेरे दुख की जो है, ये तुमने देखी है, you will know this, you will remember this. But vainly मतलब uselessly, effortlessly, without any profit, you varist. Varist means you struggle. Perhaps Christabel tries to struggle to get free, but she says, Geraldine says कि it is vain, it is useless to struggle for means because this is alone in your power to declare. You will be able to declare this only, that in dim forest, कि घने जंगल में, डार्क जंगल में, you heard a low moaning sound and you found a bright lady who was surpassingly beautiful, who was surpassingly fair, extraordinarily beautiful, and didst bring her home with you in love and in charity. You brought that lady to home because of love, because of charity. Charity means daya ke mare. Because of you were generous enough, you brought that lady to home. किस लिए? To shield her and to shelter her from the damp air. Damp air means गीली हवा, सीली हवा से बचाने के लिए you brought her. We will do this much, and I'll continue in my next lecture the concluding part of the poem. Thank you very much.